we won't jump into, man, draft night.
Draft night.
And really, even before that, because you was telling us about how the preparation, because your ordeal was so much different than what guys are used to today. I mean, today guys don't even go to NBA pre-draft camps, or if they do, they just go there to, get weighed and other things. Tell us about that experience, though.
I think for me, I wasn't even invited, right? So I was at home, and because of the top players wasn't gonna play and stuff, I had got a call to come out to Chicago for the draft camp. And so I was a late entry into the draft camp. So I went out and, I went through the
Combines,
the combines. So you had to do the jumping, and they measure your wingspan and things like that. They had you do, lateral stepping back and forth, key from the size of the key to the other side, how many times you can do in certain seconds, all these kind of things. And then you started playing. You would, you got on the team, you got a number, and then you start playing against other players that were there, that was prospects of being number one or in the first round or the second round, or at that time it was only 2 rounds when I went through. And so I kind of played my way into being drafted.
Wow.
That camp gave me the experience, got a chance for other coaches and GMs and them to see me.
So you use it as an audition.
It was like an audition, pretty much.
Damn.
Yeah. So, I was telling you about one of the GMs of Charlotte pulled me to the side and was like, "Hey, son, you got some white shoes, the black shoes make you look slow on the court. So if you got some white shoes, try to wear those." And I actually had a pair of white shoes and black shoes when I went out there. I took 2 pair. So that experience is what gave me to get individual workouts for different teams. I worked out for the Lakers. I worked out for Charlotte. I did not work out for the Jazz.
Really?
But were they looking at you though?
Yeah, a lot of them was already doing their scouting. They scouted at they're there scouting every player that goes through there. So showing out in that situation is what got me scouted. And then some of the teams that had certain picks, then they start to bring you in for individual workouts.
Okay.
So that's how it works. And then they go to the draft.
Draft night.
Right. Then it goes to draft night. I didn't go to draft night. I was at home in Fresno and watched the draft. So we had a draft party at the house, and we watched the draft. And then all of a sudden, 48th pick in the second round, Utah Jazz picks Ike Austin.
I just got to ask you about that moment, though, man, because first, second round, I don't care what round it is. I mean, when that phone rang, and you was like, "Hey, this is Jerry Sloan. Am I speaking to Ike Austin?" I mean, what was that moment like for you?
It was exciting. It was like unreal, because you're watching the actual draft.
Right.
And, I thought I had a pretty good chance of getting drafted because of the way I showed out in Charlotte and all the different places. So I really thought I was going to get picked by Charlotte, to be honest with you. As I fell, and I think I fell because of conditioning, those type of things. But when I got the call, I was just so happy. It was like, I made it. I was like, wow. You know what I mean? I got drafted. But then you go and you look at it and it's like, okay, you second round, which means that you're not a guaranteed contract.
Right, not guaranteed.
You got to make the team,
Yep.
right, to get guaranteed. So you go and sign a contract, and it's partially they paying you as you playing, but they can cut you
at any
if
point.
they cut you at any point before December. I think it's like December 25th, something like that. Then you can lose your situation.
Right.
So I ended up, I actually had knee surgery. So they did knee surgery for me because I got hurt in the tournament. So I had a meniscus tear. I still played even with the meniscus tear. So my knee was like locking up. So my mom and dad was traveling at that time to the games. So they drove. My dad drove to Atlanta to see the games. So he was like putting the icy hot on my leg, rubbing it and doing all this stuff. And yeah, it came out, dropped 25 and 10 on Arkansas. So these are the things that kind of got me those looks and things like you said. But yeah, man, it was amazing to get that call, you know.
And it's so good you say that, because most guys think that when your name is called, you know what I'm saying, like you done made it. It's like, no, that's just the glamorized TV stuff of it. Like, yeah, they drafted me, they picked me, but like you said, you still got to go in there and make the motherfucking team.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it's real.
Camp.
Yeah, you got to go to camp and you got to make the roster. You got to. At that time, it was 12 guys on the roster. So, you got to make the roster and then stay in there because they can cut you at any time.
Yeah.
Or they can send you down to the CBA or whatever happens. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, I ended up getting cut by the Jazz.
Before the deadline.
I signed my deal. Okay, so what they did was they signed the deal. I signed the deal with them. They gave me a weight clause in my deal when I signed. And I had 7 weigh-ins. So I passed all of those. I think it was a total of it was like 10 grand or so, 10 to 20 grand each weigh-in. If I had to be 270 and 12% body fat. So that's where they wanted me to be. So my first year, through the summer, I had got the knee surgery, so I was out during the summer, couldn't train.
Right.
So then when my knee got better, I was then able to start playing, and that's when training camp started. Yeah. So I was like behind the 8 ball anyway, but I started doing extra stuff.
Right.
So I was with Karl, I was a rookie with him. So Karl would work out in the morning, even early before he even go to practice. So I was going and working out with him, and then we go to practice, then we do practice, and then after practice later on in the evening we go and we do something. So that was taught me how to
take care of your body,
be a pro, get yourself in condition and this and that. Yeah. And that was what pushed me to, becoming the player. Like I said, the skills were always there. It wasn't about the skills. It was all about the weight. Yeah. And can he sustain that if he played 48 minutes? Because when you look at pro games, they prorate everything, right? If.
He's an if.
So I knew that. So if I got in a game and I got 4 points and 6 rebounds in 6 minutes, I know they're going to prorate that to be, 18 points, 20 rebound. You see what I'm saying? They prorate that as if they gave you 48 minutes or you played 35 minutes. You see what I'm saying? Wow. So that's what the young guys didn't know. And I learned that from Karl and John and them. Don't take garbage time on the court to just say, oh, they've been putting me in the game because there's garbage time. I don't need to go. No. Go in, go hard. Excuse me. Because you're being filmed. Yep. That's being on tape. That's your tape. That's your resume, right? Of how to be a professional.
That's just things. Stay ready so you want to get ready.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, after the game, because I didn't play 10 minutes or 15 minutes, so I did the stepper for 45 minutes.
Wow.
You understand? These are things that some people or some of the players don't do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like when you're training a kid and you tell them, okay, I want you up at 5:30. so we can go and get this run in the morning.
Right.
And we're going to get our conditioning in early. And he's saying, why did I get up at 5:30? Because the next person that you're playing against is not doing it.
Oh.
They're not doing it.
Oh.
Or at least if they are doing it, you out there too.
Exactly.
You can compete.
Mm.
So you get, how long was your ride with the Jazz?
My ride with the Jazz was, I got the first year deal, which was my rookie deal.
Mm.
And then they came in and they signed me for a 2-year deal.
Mm.
But then they drafted, we had a lot of bigs. So you had like Mark Eaton, Mike Brown, which is here, and he's actually here. Mike Brown is here in Vegas. I just saw him like a month ago.
Mike Brown.
Played with the Bulls.
Sure did.
Yeah, so Mike Brown, and then they drafted Luther, right?
Right.
So it was getting a little sketchy for me because I was Karl's boy. You know, I think, and then Karl was like, man, you know, I want Ike to be on the team, this, that, and that.
Yeah.
So then Jerry released me. So I get released, right? I go to the CBA. I go play in the CBA. I'm there. I played with Bibby's dad. Was our coach.
What? Henry Bibby was the coach?
Henry Bibby in Oklahoma, where Oklahoma City is now.
Yeah.
We was the Oklahoma Cavalries. I have the jersey.
Damn.
Right? So I go and play there. I make the All-Star team. I play in the game. Then I leave. I go back to Utah. I was like, man, I ain't doing this. You know, this here is too easy, right?
Right.
So I come back to Utah. Luther Wright has some issues in Utah.
Yeah.
And so Karl was like, man, let's call Jerry. I'm at Karl's house. He said, man, let's call Jerry Sloan, man. We need a big, blah, 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 blah. This, I was like, nah, man, Jerry just, he ain't feeling it like that. Karl, I know you want it because me and you peoples.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just, he's not feeling it. So I said, anyway, he's Karl. So I said, okay, let's do it.
What can it hurt? Shit.
What can it hurt? Let's see what happens. So we called him, and Jerry was like, nah, I think you need to stay down there in the CBA. That's what he told me on the phone.
Damn.
It's like, all right, Jerry, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you even, you know, let me talk to you on the phone.
Wow.
And, you know, we'll just see what happens. And then, you know, did the CBA. Then I got picked up by Philly. So I went and played in Philly 10 days, then made the team, stayed there for the year. Lando Roridge, even Sean Bradley was on there. Moses was there. Moses Malone was there before he passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a decent little team. Jeff Malone was a comfort to me because Jeff Malone played with me at Utah. And they traded for Jeff Hornacek. So Hornacek went to the Jazz and Jeff Malone went to Philly.
Tidbit here. We're in the St. Joseph gym. Jeff Hornacek, dad, was the dean of discipline at St. Joseph High School.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Small world, right?
Yeah.
Connections all over. So man, you're in Philly. Keep going. Because I like this your NBA story. It's amazing. Keep flowing with it.
Okay, so I'm in Philly, right? So I finished the year with Philly. I'm just, you know, open. Don't know what I'm gonna do. So I go to France. So I went over to France, played in Lyon, came back from France, came back to the Summer League.
Okay.
This is how I got my second year with the Jazz, right? Because they put me out in LA at they took me to this weight loss kind of center thing. They put me in that, and then they took me to big man's camp, which was I forgot his name.
Pete Newell.
Pete Newell.
Pete
Yes.
Newell.
Big man's camp. So
Basketball
that's when I
aficionado.
meet Shaq. This is the first time I meet Shaq
Oh,
in this camp. Now this is young Shaq, like with bounce.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't the thick Shaq
Right.
where it was like heaviness down in the paint. This was when he had to bounce
And he can handle.
and he can handle. So he was like 1-2 dribbles and dunk, just jump over you and dunk it. That Shaq is what I met at the big man's camp. But I didn't back down from that. That was the thing. See, I was never like that. I mean, these guys are there. There
But
was
nobody
no-
finna intimidate you. Like,
wasn't gonna be no intimidation because I felt like, okay, my skills is just as good as yours.
wow.
That's how I felt. I can shoot it just as good as you. I can shoot the jump hook. I can dunk,
Wow.
and I can take you one-on-one because that's what you learn. That's
Yeah.
your first thing
Yep.
you learn when you go out there in the park.
Yeah.
Like when you're out there in the park and you playing against the older cats, that was that get out game.
Yeah.
You remember get out?
Yeah. yeah.
You roll that ball out there.
You
You know,
know who got it? He got it.
you
It's
ain't
your
got
turn.
buckets. You either get buckets or you out.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you wanted to win those type of games. But yeah, so that situation with the Jazz, I played the summer league with them with a different team, and they were watching. And they were seeing the numbers I was getting. I was averaging in the summer league like 20, 24, 25 points. They saw me play against Shackelford. You remember Shackelford?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so I played against Shackelford, which ended up I played against him again in Turkey.
Wow.
But yeah, just we were going at it. I dropped numbers on him, and then we ended up. So that's what got me my 2 years with the Jazz, and then, like I said, they cut me when they made the trade Thurl Bailey over to Minnesota for Felton Spencer. So now.
Felton Spencer.
So now you're starting to see, the bigs, the things. It was just, it's a numbers game when it gets to the NBA.
Yep.
That happened to actually Kurt Thomas when I went to the Heat. It's the same thing
Oh yeah.
because you had Zoe, PJ,
Yep.
him, and then I came in.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was telling you guys that 150 guys came through,
Yeah.
okay, it was me and Tony Farmer that was left, right? That made the cut to even stay in Miami,
Stay in Miami.
and just work out, right?
Yeah.
So now Kurt is working out in
Oh.
the summer. He was already on the team.
And I
So
know.
I'm trying to make the team.
Yeah.
So you know what that was
Yeah.
at the gym.
I know.
And Kurt talked mad shit and I talked mad shit.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? So we were going at it in the gym. And then you got Pat Riley upstairs, like, looking down there and seeing what's popping.
Damn.
So they ended up trading
Kurt.
Thomas for Jamal Mashburn, Dallas.
So that's how Jay get there.
So that's how the team formed, where it was the three big rotation. And the Heat came to me. They were saying, look, we like your numbers. I'm playing less minutes and I'm getting these numbers. So they, again, that's the thing. And Bob McAdoo was my coach for the bigs, right?
Lakers Bob McAdoo. The Bob McAdoo.
The Bob McAdoo came back from overseas, testing us in practice. We playing one-on-one.
Damn.
Still shooting that.
Yeah, behind the head joint.
He used to light up me. We played Get Out. PJ, me, Zoe, and Bob McAdoo.
Damn.
We used to play Get Out in practice after practice was over. It's like, let's get it.
And what did that do for your game? Like going
That's just elevated because remember, McAdoo was a off the bench player.
Yeah.
So he said, Ike, look, when you're playing off the bench and you're getting minutes, the key to the game is you look at the game when they sub you in and when you leave the game.
Wow.
Because if you're a plus minus, you're going to always get your minutes.
Yep.
So you got to make sure when you get in the game that you elevate the game. You give that energy. That's the jolt. You got to give that jolt energy.
Yep.
So that's what I did, when I was with the Heat. I didn't know that when I was with the Jazz.
Right.
I was over on the bench. I can remember a game, right? We're in Cleveland. I'm on the bench. I'm thinking I'm not going to play, right?
Yeah.
So I'm drinking Gatorade, chewing gum, doing all this stuff, right? All of a sudden, Jerry Sloan says, Ike, get in the game.
You're like, what the fuck?
We go 6 times up and down the court. You see Ike walking in timeout, bitch. You see Ike, you see it throwing up in my hand. Like, you understand where I'm coming from? It was like, those are the things, and then Karl and them laughing at me, all this stuff. But those are experiences and things that you learn as you trying to become a professional in this sport. I was still a rookie, wasn't thinking I wasn't gonna get in the game. I did my workout before the game.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, he ain't gonna put me in.
Right. That's crazy.
It's interesting, man. Your storyline from, having to go and work out for teams, getting drafted in the second round, and then, with Utah, up and down situations, some good, some interesting.
Yep.
You got to give it to them in the summer league. But then you have, I don't even know if I want to call it a resurgence, but you get in Miami and you just explode. What made that situation so much better than the other ones?
What made Miami was my experience.
And how was the knee feeling at this time?
So I had knee was fine. I had got a scope after Philly, but I had got a tryout, which I didn't tell you guys this, and this was the click. It was the click before Miami and why I came to be successful in Miami. I go to Cleveland. I got invited to the camp in Cleveland. I get on the bus, Chucky Brown, all these people on the bus, right? I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be easy. I'm gonna get this job,
Yeah.
Get to the hotel, go to the physical, right? I'm in the physical. They weigh me, I'm 340.
Damn. Legitly.
340. I didn't even get to work out.
Really?
Coach Patello calls, said, look, son, appreciate you coming out. We can't take a chance. Medical risk. You too heavy. You already got bad knees. So, can we get you a ticket? I was like, yeah, can I get my per diem? Can you send me back to Phoenix? Gave me a flight back to Phoenix. My boy Terrence, him and my guy, Doc, who played at Arizona State when they picked me up. I told them, never again will this happen if I get another chance. Never again. I went to a guy who's still doing it to this day. His name is Mac Newton out of Phoenix. Teaches Taekwondo. I called him. I said, I want you to work me out. I need to get in shape.
Damn.
He said, only way I do it is if you listen to me. You can't do nothing but everything I tell you to do.
Wow.
I go there. I told my wife, I'm staying in Phoenix. So I stayed in a hotel in Phoenix. If y'all don't come out, you don't come out, visit me, I'm here. Went to Mac's place. He teaching Taekwondo, right? But he does this, workout. So I walk in there, and here you see Bo Jackson getting his rehabbing his hip.
The freak.
Inside the joint.
Damn.
So we go in it's a room, right? Maybe just big, about the size of this, right? He got the heat on in there. It's really hot. I'm in the back. He said, big fella, get there in the back right there. Yeah, right there. He's up front talking. I mean, these People from
All walks
all
of
over,
life.
all walks of life in the building. Women, whatever. He said, Ike, we don't wear no pink. We don't do this. You don't cuss. We don't do none of that. You do that, that's 2,000 mountain climbers. I'm going to weigh you. You don't make the weight when you come in. That's 1,000 mountain climbers. Each pound.
Each pound you over.
Over.
Man.
No solid foods. I got this shake here thing. This is what you eating.
That's your protein. That's your
protein.
That's your
This
meal.
got all this. This is your meal. You're gonna be on this for 30 days.
30 days in Phoenix doing this.
30 days. Working out twice with him in the we started the stretch, and I was in the stretch, right? And I was stretched out, my leg, everything was like shaking. I'm sweating and I'm shaking. And he up in the front cracking jokes. He like, uh-oh. We need some fries with that shake back there. Uh-oh. It's trouble. You better hold it. Hold the stretch, or we got to start all over.
Oh.
So it's not long as he's pushing me to these limits to see if I'm gonna break and quit.
Training you mentally, huh?
But I never quit. Like I told you, I may do it slow, may do this, but you're not gonna get me to quit. That's not gonna happen.
Did you replay what you said in your mind to your boys?
In my head, I'm saying to myself, I'm doing this because I didn't want to be embarrassed like I was when I went to Cleveland. That's number one. Number two, I'm wasting the talent. I need to do this.
And you just locked in.
Locked in. Drop what? I went from that 30 days, I dropped to 40 pounds. So now I'm 300. Wow.
You dropped 40 pounds.
40 pounds in 30 days. I was doing 2 a days with him. And then I got the call to go to Miami.
You in great shape. You heading to Miami. You got that thing in the back of your mind that you already made this promise to yourself. This ain't gonna never happen to me again. I ain't gonna never get embarrassed about this game. You're going there though. You've heard stories about Pat Riley, about his
body fat,
and all these other things. What's the mindset?
I was just, I wanted to go and show my skills. I was like, look, I can go here. I'm in decent shape.
Right.
But knowing what I know now, what happened in that camp, everybody was not in shape. But it was those who were strong, right? Who last, who didn't fall over to the side.
But nothing at that point, because you said this earlier, that it's 150 people.
Yeah.
2 slots. At no time did you doubt yourself?
No, because I went through that experience already, right? I went through the Cleveland experience. I was already embarrassed. So I said, this was my next opportunity.
But you had an out.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying most people,
Yeah.
I mean, you had a built-in out. You could have always just said, well, they ain't pick me anyway because, of my weight. You had a built-in out. What moved you past that?
I think it was the mental of wanting to show that I deserve to play in this league and that I can really do something. I can make my name in this league.
Yeah.
And so I went to that camp, and like I told you before, Pat came to the locker room and was like, look, you don't lose 10 pounds, you can't come back.
And see, and I remember when you said that, and this goes back to my question again. You just did an amazing job. You dropped 40 pounds in 30 days. You go to the camp, And Pat comes in and say, yeah, but I need you to lose 10 more.
Mm.
Nothing, even at that point, said, man, maybe this game ain't for me.
Nah, I told him, okay, I'll be back.
Right.
I'll send a report out, and then I'll be back for the second one.
How long did it take you to lose the additional
I
10?
did 2 weeks.
Wow.
So I went back to Mac. I
Went
told
back to
him,
Mac, okay.
I went back to Phoenix.
Wow.
After the camp, I went back to Phoenix, started to see. So now things, before I could not squat down. I couldn't do all this stuff. My knee started getting better. Things started changing. And then guess who comes in? Charles Barkley. Jason Kidd. Because I started playing in Phoenix, I told the guys, Charles was like, man, you dropping this weight. How you doing that? Because Charles had a problem with weight, right?
Yeah.
I said, man, come on, let's go. Yeah, come over to my man, Mac. Get it in.
What?
Man, Charles came up in the Mac, man. He started cussing. He was like, over to the side.
Ugh.
Put that duct tape down. Give me 1,000 mountain climbers.
Damn. To the Hall of Fame of CB.
Get over there and do them.
Damn.
We in there doing frog leaps. Everything, bruh. Charles was like, Ike, man.
I think that was the slimmest he ever was when he was in Phoenix. I mean, when
Yeah.
he got back, when he was in prime Chuck.
Jason came in. I was like, man, this is where I'm getting my condition. Like, this is the, building of the body.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Mac is a great guy.
Like, this is my yoga.
So you lose the additional 10 pounds. Did you call Miami or did
Yeah. I went back to Miami. I went to the second camp. Then the second camp, they was like, then that second camp, they saw the conditional level up higher. So now the production even got better. So the jumper is like lasting, this and that, even when you're tired. And so they started seeing the drive. That's what Pat saw, that there was no quit, and he saw the drive. They knew the talent was there because Bob McAdoo said, Ike, you're the best talent, big guys in here.
Wow.
So what was the next conversation with Pat after that when you...
The next conversation was, okay, they said, okay, we'll get back to you, right? So I said, okay, not a problem. So I go back home. Then I go to Summer League, and I go play with Boston. So now at the games, because we're playing now on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So now at the games, you're seeing the Jazz scouts. I'm looking. I'm seeing it. There's Jazz scouts there, this, that, and that. And they Jazz study putting out his weight problem, this, that, and that. It's got to be that, this was the sticker that was on Ike, right? So I'm with Boston. I'm playing well with Boston. Miami's out there, right? They seeing it now. So then the Summer League was in the East. Now it switched to the West, and it was in Utah at the little gym. So I was going up there. I didn't play Summer League at that time.
In Utah.
And then I forgot his name. He was one of the he was like president of the team. And he came up to me. He was like, look, hey, we want you to come to Miami and just work out with us. We'll give you per diem, we'll give you a hotel, and just come out and work out. So then I accepted that, and then I came out to Miami, and then I was just working out. This is where I meet Kurt Thomas. So I go to the gym, and then Bill Ferran was the conditioning for Pat. So Bill was like, because I was doing all this conditioning stuff with Mac Newton stuff. So I was like, I'm game for anything.
Right.
So Bill was like, I think that you should ride the bike for an hour after the workout. So you go do your workout with the team and stuff, but then I want you to ride the bike for an hour. After that. So I ride the bike for an hour and kept the speed like at around 70, 72. Kept the speed, and they had some resistance and stuff with it, right? So I was doing that every day.
So you strengthening in that knee.
Right. So I'm staying in a hotel. I'm only getting per diem. I got a wife and kid.
Ugh.
And so I told Tony lived in Florida.
Okay.
He had an apartment. So I told Tony, I was like, look, I'm going to talk to the Heat, man. I'm trying to get this money. Let me get the money for them paying for that hotel. Let me come and stay with you, and I give you a little dough.
Yeah.
But that give me a little bit more money. He was like, okay, cool.
Damn.
So then I went and stayed with Tony. So we going to practice together. We doing this. I'm cooking. I'm getting cooking the grilled chicken and salad and this and just watching what I'm eating. And I'm going to this thing. And then the weight just was shredding. Like falling off, man. Before you know it, I looked like a damn crackhead. One was in the league was like, Ike, you on crack?
Because literally, you went from just following it.
Diet.
You was 340, 300,
290.
290.
My lowest was 255.
Wow.
Damn.
At 10% body fat. Wow. My phone.
I know that.
I got a picture. It's actually online.
You got a
There's
before and after?
There's a picture, a Heat picture, and you can see in that Heat picture, I was 255 in that particular Heat picture that they show. Now that's online, because you can tell it was just. I mean, motherfuckers was like, when we were going to play, motherfuckers was literally like, Ike, what's going on with you, man? You on crack?
Like you sick? Like you all right?
You all right, man? I look like what's his name? 50 in that one movie. You know that shit? Yeah, it was like that, bro.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But then it was balling. Now it's balling out time.
Yeah.
Now the shape is there.
So everything. is quicker.
Now Zoe,
Come back.
Tim, they all coming in now to the gym, and we are now playing. We starting to play. So doing the workout, then they want to play after 5-on-5, 4-on-4 half court, 5-on-5 full court. So now it goes to, okay, dude in here, Zoe's in here, he got all the money. Now I got to give it to him.
You got to give us a story.
So
You and Zoe.
In one of them practice, in one of them joints.
yeah, I mean, I went at Zoe like it didn't matter what type of money he had. I told Zoe,
Right.
just like I went and told Karl that I was gonna bust his ass. So I told Zoe the same thing. I'm gonna give it to you every day. Please be prepared, because I'm coming at you every day, bruh. Ain't that I hate you.
Right.
It's just that it's the job.
But you know, it's interesting because, man, I remember your career so vividly. You had that mentality. I just got to say this. I used to think you were crazy.
Yeah. I was the type of guy that I would look at the other bench, right? I would see who's the big or who's the 4 or the 5 that's coming off of their bench. And then I said, okay, I'm just gonna outwork that person.
Yeah, but you still had that intimidating spirit about you too, man. Like when you rebound, you spread big, and
Yeah, that was
you
that
let
was
them know
just
that
the presence.
Yeah.
The presence was there.
So the day you signed this contract, when
I
Pat
didn't. Okay, so they made me go through all the camp. We playing against Zoe. So I do a move on Zoe and I dunk on him, right?
Damn.
Pat is up in the thing. He come downstairs because it got heated. Because like Tim was like, oh, everybody, oh. So we start going at it. Zoe come back, boom, put it on me. I told Tim, I was like, look, come on, let's get this pick and roll. Boom, pick and pop, swap. I said, you gotta come out here, Zoe. Don't halfway do this bullshit. It's not gonna happen. You gotta get to me, and then when you get to me, I'm going around you. And we're gonna meet at the rim. That's where we meet. So it went to that, and then all of a sudden, Pat comes to me, he's like, look, we're going to offer you a 2-year deal. So it was an open deal. Just like
I would have.
it wasn't West College. So I took the 2-year deal. It's like, cool. Go to camp. Camp was good. And then all of a sudden, a most improved player.
Damn.
When did you start hearing those rumblings that you were even in the running for?
Oh, it was adamant because the weight, and then when Zoe went down, we didn't miss a beat without him, you know.
Right.
We kept winning. I mean, we were the highest road team winner than in the league. We won a lot of games on the road.
Wow.
We were they literally called us the Road Warriors because we won a lot of games in other people's gym.
Damn.
We made them feel sad. Fans was hot.
It's interesting too that you were the most improved player, but when Zoe went down because you're now starting, that knocked you out the running for Sixth Man of the Year, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah.
It did. I would have won Sixth Man. I would have won Sixth Man if Zoe would have stayed in and played.
Wow.
But when he went out, I had also an opportunity to make the All-Star team.
Yeah.
I didn't get it because I was averaging 20 and 10. And we were like one of the best teams in the East.
Just to say that. Say I averaged 20 and 10 in the NBA.
20 and 10.
That's some numbers.
And in a span of, I think it was like, 20 games?
That type of history can't nobody take from me because them real facts. That shit happens.
But you're playing so well with Miami. When did that thing turn?
That was all Pat. I mean, that wasn't me. That was all Pat. Pat was the way he is. It was him. He knew I was going to get paid, right?
Yeah.
But it was, are you going to get paid with us? You're going to leave me at the altar?
Right.
You're going to wait because we had to pay this person,
yeah.
that person. So Pat was coming to me every day. You're going to commit. They could sign me for a 1-year deal and then sign me for my bigger deal. But he wasn't talking to me in that way. He was talking to me in a way like he thought I was going to leave. And I was like, Pat, you painted this picture of us being in the Heat and we winning a championship.
Right.
So that's all I thought. It wasn't about no money for me. It was about now I'm playing.
Right.
It was about I'm playing. We got a good team and, we got good rotation. Just everything was there. And all of a sudden, we're on a flight to LA. Trade deadline is there. And I went to Zoe's room. I went to Tim's room. I told him, I said, man, I don't have a good feeling, man. I got a feeling that he gonna trade me, man.
Damn.
It was like, nah, that ain't gonna happen. He can't. We just can't. We can't do that. We can't afford it.
Can't afford it.
And here we go. Last trade on the block was me. He wouldn't trade me early in the trade deadline because too many teams want to pick me up. New York wanted to pick me up.
Oh.
So he didn't want to trade me to where he had to see me.
Yep. It's like I ain't.
He didn't want that. So he traded me last trade on the trading block so no one else can pick me up. And he traded me to the Clippers for Brent Berry, which didn't even make the squad. He didn't even make the playoff squad.
Really?
And then they got in that fight. Zoe got in the fight with Larry Johnson, and they lost the series.
Yeah.
Because
was...
Coswell, which was now the backup, wasn't giving those type of numbers. Coswell couldn't do it.
Coswell was the Dwayne.
That's my Dwayne Coswell.
Dwayne
That's my
Coswell.
peoples. I love Coswell. That's my peoples now. Don't get me wrong. He can play, but he wasn't putting out those numbers I was putting out.
Right.
And everybody actually, it's funny. Everybody had actually thought that when they traded you, that hurt the chances of
Us winning it.
Yeah.
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 Because nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw that coming.
Nobody did. Not even the players. PJ was sick because me and PJ were close. We were friends. So PJ was sick. They didn't even let me go to the game.
Really?
Damn.
The Clippers game, but I had to stay in the hotel. He would not let me. He told the Clippers that we're going to make this trade. We don't want Ike at the gym, blah, 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 blah. I was at the hotel, bruh.
So you was in LA.
We flew LA from Miami.
To play
West
the
Coast
Clippers.
trip. To play Lakers in our West Coast trip.
Wow.
And he traded me that evening.
That evening.
So you just stayed there.
Yes. With the bags that I had in my hands.
Oh.
What?
The league is like that?
Like that.
That's like the music industry, ain't it?
Worse.
Damn.
So Pat called you up and said,
Pat didn't call me.
Pat didn't even call you?
Nah, he didn't call me.
Yeah.
So how
Because he
you-
was doing it was a process for
So
him.
how you find out?
Yeah.
Find out the trade?
Yeah.
I was looking on the TV. Then I got a call in the hotel by the Clippers. Worst team. I went from the best team, most professional
Ran team.
organizations to the worst.
Wow. Don Sterling.
Worse. I went from private plane to Northwest. Gym with full locker rooms, gear up the yin yang, change, all this to, man, watch your own shit.
Really? This the league.
I had Boys and Girl Club, man, for practice with the Clippers, bruh.
What?
The Clippers is now like the Heat.
But you said not then.
Not then. Not with Sterling. He ain't play. He ain't spent a dime. And he has so much talent that has came through the Clippers, bruh.
Yeah.
Danny Manning, you name him.
Yeah.
He has so much talent that had came to the Clippers, bruh.
Damn.
I didn't know it was like that.
That's
Just bad,
It's
man.
like that.
Yeah, I remember Ron Harper was balling with them. Danny Manning played with the Clippers. Like,
Oh, the
Dude.
Clippers had
A lot
number
of good
one
players.
pick after number one pick for
Yeah.
almost about.
A lot of good players played with the
Damn.
Clippers.
So you with the Clippers, and your mind is it like, when is this over? Or you thinking like, let me-
Yeah,
let
so
me build
that
this
was
organization
now we going into, because I was going to become a free agent. So we're in that season
Right.
to where they traded me to the Clippers, and they were seeing if I was going to stay with the Clippers
right.
or if I was going to move off. I was the number 2 recruit for
Free agency.
free agency. So Pippen was number 1. Pippen ended up going to Houston, remember?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I ended up signing with Orlando.
Well, I know you was like, well, I'm not in Miami, but I'm in Atlanta. I'm in the Florida area.
I only went there because I wanted to go back to the Heat. That was the same division.
Oh yeah. Damn.
You needed to see him again.
So I wanted to go back.
He's like, yeah, I want to see you, Pat. I want to see you,
Yeah.
Lonzo. I want to see y'all one more time.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And it was crazy.
How was that first game?
It was, it was nervous because I was starting.
Yeah. I know some of your teammates had to probably like, hey man, should we hold you back?
But
Like
it was
rage?
a good game. I had a good game against them. We didn't win because of Tim.
Did you see Pat though?
Oh yeah, I saw Pat. He really ain't say much.
Really?
No, it was just like I said. Pat was about his business,
Out of
man.
business.
I mean, I can't knock him for the situation.
Yeah.
I mean, he built me up, and when he made that move, he shattered me. I thought that was the worst move ever. I think for a team.
And he messed up the team chances in the playoffs that year.
Yeah, the Knicks beat him.
That's
Knicks beat him.
crazy.
On that the
Allen
Allen Houston shot.
Allen
Yeah.
Houston shot shit. Damn.
Man, like we've been taking up so much of your time, man. But
Eh.
Agee, I want to move into, man. Tell us what you're doing now.
I think now I'm, I have daughters that has played, so I went and watched them play. I try to give them advice on what to do out on the floor.
Did you raise them up in basketball and sports? And
No, my oldest daughter, because I had got a divorce, right? Mm-hmm. And she was young.
okay.
So I was away from the house.
Mm-hmm.
But they were, she was born when I was playing in Orlando.
Okay.
Then my oldest son was with us when I was playing in Miami.
Okay.
So, but she just, it was naturally to her.
DNA. It was
just in her DNA. She started playing in high school.
Wow.
And she was a beast on the block. Wasn't scared of no contact.
Yeah.
That was a thing. She invited contact.
Wow. So you remember one of the players she went like one of the players like she can't score if she don't have contact. So if ain't no contact there, she'll miss a layup. Oh well, when nobody there, I need to feel somebody. I need to have that body and all that. So your first time watching her play, and you like what?
She was playing in AAU, right? And they used to come here to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
So I was living here in Vegas, so I would go and see her play. And you can see it then. Can see the talent that she had.
Wow.
Natural talent without me even
But when Dad
doing
saw
anything.
her, but when Dad saw her though, what was Dad thinking?
I was, I call her a beast. So
Get out of here! You call her beast, dog?
yeah, but the thing I don't like that she doesn't do is she doesn't shoot her face up. She got it. She got a pretty shot. It's there.
Oh yeah.
And she doesn't shoot it.
That was one of your go-tos.
Yeah.
That was one of
So
back
now
on the
I'm
block
telling
and then
her,
you turn and face up.
because she just signed a deal. She just got her contract, just the other day from a team in France.
Oh.
And she's got to go out there in August. So I told her, look, we need to work about 30 days together. Let me get you comfortable with shooting the face up because you're going to need that overseas.
Yep.
Gotta have a face up.
What's your daughter's name?
Vanessa Austin.
Congratulations, Vanessa.
That's right.
Man, we supporting. Looking forward to hearing great things from you. That's incredible, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even imagine playing in the league and then
Yeah.
your kid following in that.
The crazy thing, I was talking to her the other day, and we didn't know about the WNBA, how it works for the draft.
Mm-hmm.
You can just put your name in the draft.
Really?
And she didn't know that, but that would have been a big story just off of that.
Just off. Yeah.
And we didn't know that, so we missed that opportunity.
Wow.
But yeah, but her first job overseas is in France, and that was my first job was in France.
Yeah.
So
Come full
it's
circle on that.
It's still full circle, right?
Yep.
Yeah, she's following Dad's footsteps to a T right now.
Yeah.
Well, you're making great money with Orlando.
Great
But-
money.
But towards the tail end of your career, you end up in Memphis, an expansion team. I'm sure you're still grateful to be playing the game, but were there moments where you thought that, man, this might be the last ride?
Yeah, because that's the league, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're always looking at the younger. The game was changing. They started changing the rules, so it wasn't more about physical. It was more about the up and down.
Yeah.
So, when I went to Orlando, then I got traded to Washington for Ben Wallace.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And that was a blockbuster trade. Then I got to Washington, and then Jordan was working with the team at that time.
Yeah.
And, it was like...
Was that Ted?
It was more of a rebuilding situation. It wasn't
Even the front office, they was rebuilding.
Yeah, it was. Washington was a rebuilding situation. I got into it with Darryl Walker,
Shot time.
which is that's Jordan's boy.
Yep.
So
Small
we got
tidbit. I was almost on that team. We almost ended up playing together.
wow.
Yeah.
And then, so they moved me to Vancouver. So I got traded out to Vancouver. I go to Vancouver again.
I just got to ask you, you go to Vancouver. I just got to ask this again. Expansion team, but this is not an expansion team in the States. You're going to Vancouver. Did this seem like
Hockey town.
what in the world is going on? How did I end up here? Did you ever have that type of moment?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, everybody was like, "Oh, it's cool because they're gonna give, tax break and all these different things," but you literally out of the country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You going through, the worst thing I think for playing in Vancouver was, going through customs all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You playing on a team, you used to, get on the bus and, you're going to get on your flight and you're just going to the next city. You get out to the city and you get in the city and you're going to go do your thing.
Yeah.
At that point, you might go to the strip club. Or,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Go to your favorite spot.
Yeah, get something to eat, whatever. Here, we got to go through, customs. You got to do all this stuff. And then you're in a hockey city.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ain't know nothing about no basketball. This was about hockey. Everything we seen was about hockey. I think it was the Canucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, it was different, trying to get people to, see. But I got to give it to it. Vancouver supported the team. They came out, they supported, and the team just was not winning. We had some pieces. We just didn't have the coaching.
Yeah.
We didn't have the coaching to control the situation. And, me being a veteran, places I came from, I tried to implement that. I even did that even when I went to the Clippers.
Right.
I used to tell the coaches, like, look, the rotation is wrong. If you're going to trap the box, we got to rotate 4 and 5, and the 3 has to drop on the back end. I mean, these are the things,
Right.
The experience, because I learned it from the best. I've seen it, and I went through it. So I tried to, implement that in the things, but I implemented that when, after I started and I started coaching and, got the ABA team. Those are the things that I done after basketball. I went and tried it because I wanted to. I saw the D-League. I saw the D-League was going to expand. I know they were going to link up with NBA teams, and I wanted that ABA team I had to be in that D-League, in the D-League. And I wanted it to be for Utah because we were in Utah. And unfortunately, it didn't happen out that way.
Right.
And actually, the Long Beach team ended up being in the D-League in Bakersfield. So then I ended up going to Bakersfield. I was supposed to be the head coach for that team, and they ended up having Jim Herrick be the head coach, and I was the assistant.
Wow. How did you know it was time?
It's just, you don't get those calls. You don't, I think I went, I even played in the ABA myself. I mean, I went and played in the ABA to play, get some condition, and then I went to the Heat. The Heat asked me back for a camp, and then I ended up being the last cut. That was Dwayne's rookie year.
Oh,
Dwayne Wade.
D. Wilson. That was his rookie year. Huh?
That was the time that, me and Pat had an opportunity to talk. And
How was that?
It was good, you know. I just
Did you learn more about from where, like you said, did you learn more about where he was coming from with that trade or business from just doing the
I
business?
mean, I knew it was going to happen. I mean, it was the buildup, so I already knew that was going to happen. But you know, unfortunately, I let it go.
Yeah.
Because you know, I don't get dot music. You know what I mean? I don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You never know. And God works in that ways that, you know, my deal with Orlando, I had an under table deal that I didn't even tell you about for $55 million. Cause I signed only for 4 years, $24 million.
Right.
And they were going to get, because they wanted to sign Penny. So they gave me this and they gave me an option. Now at the time I could have went to Sacramento and got 55 million. But I wanted to play in Orlando because I knew the league. I knew the division we were in, got a chance to play. And I was in Florida, so I loved it. You know what I'm saying? And it's no state taxes, right? So I'm thinking, okay, but I could take this money, but they did an under the table deal. And then Doc Rivers came in to coach. And then they traded me.
Yep.
So I got traded. And so that deal went away. So I lost.
So there was even no more conversations.
No. Wow. Just don't know that. But you know, I only got that 24 million deal. That was my last track.
Well, listen, we've got 2 more questions. I'm gonna hit you with one, and then my dog gonna hit you with a final question. The question I always like to ask, especially the athletes we deal with, is that, man, out of all of the success you've had, did the world see the best of Ike Austin?
I think as a sport,
Yes.
yeah, I think they saw the best. When it comes to changing lives and trying to make a difference, it's not there yet, but it's coming.
I like that.
So we're gonna stay tuned for that.
Absolutely.
Because it's coming to where it will be a stamp. And it'll be a stamp, and I can say I fulfilled the whole circle.
That leads right into the last question right here then. And you kind of hit on it already with that music. What's the next hoop dreams? And what Ike Austin's next chapter? What is hoop dream looking like?
It's
paint us that dream picture for us.
It's you know, probably getting a Black-owned bank, helping out our community, get loans to build business, reinvest into our community, give us an opportunity because we don't get them.
Yep.
And you know, seeing the success from my kids, watching them grow up, and you know, study out there, giving advice when I can, you know, lending my experience, because not every player go through what I explained to you.
Yep.
And those are deep situations.
Yeah.
That
life altering.
Yeah, and I don't think kids these days will be able to handle that. They would break down.
Yeah. Yeah, they would.
So, you know, what is there a book in store? Probably. You know, they need this. They need to hear the story. They need to know. That's motivation. That's the power to keep you going, to inspire you to
keep dreaming,
and fulfill those dreams.
I love that, man.
It's amazing.
Man, we want to thank you for taking the time out today, and we can't wait to see the next chapter of Hoop Dreams in your life, man, and your kids. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you again. We appreciate it. I'm Will Gates. It's my
Arthur
dog.
Agee in the building. We got
Ike.
most improved Ike Austin in the building.
Yes, sir.
Let's go, baby.
Let's do it.